Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful example video here on this beautiful channel. We're going to be working with template again, and it's been a while. I made a template introduction video a little while back. Maybe you want to go check that out just before we do this. But today is the first time we're going to do template classes because we were doing a bunch of classes and dynamic arrays and stuff up until now. Now we're just going to go ahead and make a fun little like a static array filled with dice. Let's just say that because we just don't make stuff for nothing, right? So we're just gonna go do that. Let's make a. This is gonna like prove two things in one. So let's make a template. Type name T. This is how you do it. This is our magic here. T is going to be T is anything. You can have anything in here as long as you just use this instead of another type, right? So this is our generic type. It's called a generic type, and this is going to be replaced later on. If you remember vector, this is how you make a vector int for something, and you can make another vector for strings, right? And this is where your T comes in because it's going to be a generic type until you specify what type you want this array to be of, right? And you can use this in functions and you can use this in classes, but we're gonna make a simple static array today with so we're just gonna call it sArray, private public. I'll quickly define what we need. We need a cap. We need a number of elements, and we need a array. So we use T here instead of anything else like integer or something like that because we don't know what type we want the array to be of at start, right? At right now. So we're just gonna make it T. We're just gonna tell the compiler or the computer like, bro, I don't really know what I want to hear. I'm really, unsure about this. Let me just make it T for now. It's going to be like, okay, let me just keep this here for you. And what we're going to do is array, bam, and a pointer as well because we're going to make it static array, bam. Not a pointer. What are we going to need? We need a sArray constructor, a sArray destructor. We need a add function, void add. Here as well, since we're adding T values, we're not adding any specific value, we're going to use T. So const T for the object. We're going to be void. Whoops. What do we need? We actually need a size. So int size const. This is going to get the size of the array, so return number of elements. And we're going to need a get at. So T get int index. Like that. There we go. I think that's all we need. So 5 functions. And one thing with these is, as you noticed, I'm not doing this in a separate file. I'm just doing it in here above main in the same file because there is a thing with template classes. Since they aren't defined directly, you don't need a CPP file. What you need is only a header file. So you'll have to take your template class and you'll have to define all the functions and everything in the same file, in the header file, and then you can just use that. So here is weird number 1. Okay, this is gonna be number 1 weird thing. What you need to do is you need to take this template type name T, and you need to copy it above every function that you're gonna define. Okay, every function. That's weird. Weird number 2. This is just stuff you have to memorize. This is just the way it is. Then you do sArray. Remember we had this before. Now you just have to shove in a T in here for every function. So that's how it works, guys and girls. I'm sorry to say, but this is what you're gonna have to do. And you just go ahead and define all these functions here. So this is great. I guess you can see the value of this since you only have to write one array now for any type of element, instead of making a bunch of different person like we did last time, person array, integer array, whatever. Here we just have one and we can just use this for everything. So let's go ahead and create this cap equals let's give it a default value 5, or int size equals 5. This is better. Whoops. Now if you aren't really sure of what I'm doing here, what all this stuff is, I suggest you go ahead and watch my older videos, but this is just the maximum size for the array, and this is the current size of the array. So this is going to start at 0. This is going to become 5 here. So we have 5 spaces, and then we can add up to 5 elements, and this is going to be how many of those elements are valid elements, so to speak, because it's empty from the beginning, but it has a maximum size of 5. Anyhow, this number of, why isn't this working? This, that's weird. This number of elements equals 0. This cap, I think it is because this, yes, this is why. See, I don't know why you're watching my videos, but for some reason you are, so thanks for that. But let's go ahead and let's just make this a new t this time, since we're using t, right? We don't know which one we want, but it will know by the time we create one. So this cap, that's why we're using t. T is a template value, generic type. And to delete, we just delete. Remember, we need these if we're deleting a whole array. This array. And then we're going to go ahead and here return this number of elements and add. We're going to say if this number of elements is less than this cap, we're going to add something. Add positions plus plus equals const object, please object. Now this as well might seem all confusing and stuff, but I'll try to explain this as good as I can. Object, there we go. Const object, sorry. Bam. So what this does is basically, in my previous videos I explained this as well, but I'll just tell you that this is a static array, so we're not going to be expanding this array. It's going to stop adding stuff as it hits 5 or whatever number you input here. But this is the current value. It's going to start at 0. So the first 0 is going to be, object is going to be added, and this is postfix, right? So this is going to add 1 to number of elements after object, after this whole operation is complete. So it's going to use 0 in here, add object, then do this, make this into a 1. So next time we add something, it's going to use the 1 in here, do the operation, and then add 1 to it. So we're going to get 2 later. So this is how we can just increase it until 5, right? Or whatever number cap is. And then, but else, since it's not dynamic, we're not going to expand this array. We're just going to write something. Array is full, sad face. End that line. Bam! So we're good. And then here, if index, since we want to get something at an index, we don't want that index the user defines in here is less than 0, or it's greater than this number of elements, or equal to, actually. So if that is the case, then we'll throw an exception that says bad index. Or if it doesn't throw, actually just break out of this function, then we'll arrive at something called return, right? We'll return this array at position index, because then that index is valid. The thing is that you can, instead of get, you can overload an operator to actually do this, use this with your array class. So what you would do is you would overload this operator here, and you could use these indexing operators for your class, array class. You can do that for this because this is a standard array, right? It's like array internally. But this is a class, so you have to actually define that operator in here for you to use that. Otherwise, you have to make a specific function for it to get something at a position. I hope you understood that. I really do. But anywho, just trust me on that. So now our array is complete. We'll make a S array of an integers, and we'll call it MIA. Oh, dang, yes, that's so cool. An S array for std string. We have we don't need std actually, so we included that MSA. Whoa. And there'll be 5 because I haven't defined anything. It has a default value. And to print out strings, you need to include a string to print them out with cout. So what we'll do is we'll make a for loop, and first we'll make since it has the size of 5, we'll say MIA.add 10, MSA.add hello. Bam, that's a cool string. And then we'll copy this and we will just say cout MIA.get at position I, end line. And we'll say MSA.get. So what we're doing is we use the same class for two different types, because the type of this class, the T, is going to be defined and just chosen at the time of the creation of this array, right? So it's the same array, it just uses two different types, or handles two different types. So this is great for classes and stuff, because you can make one array and you can just use it for everything, just like vector. You don't need to make 20 different vectors for 20 different types. Make one vector class and then you can just use that. So let's go ahead and test this. I know it's gonna crash because it's my luck. Or if I'm pro. No, I'm not pro. Sorry. I was so close to being pro. Just one little semicolon. Okay, 10 hello, 10 hello, 10 hello, 10 hello, 10 hello, guys and girls. I hope you learned something today with the template class. Just yeah, it's fun, has a bunch of uses, and I don't know, just have fun with it. Try it out. Test stuff out, and you can make functions with templates as well, like I did in my previous videos. Let's go and check that out. See how you can play with that, and yeah, go crazy. Okay, this is a really big part of programming in C++. Well, not really big part, but still a pretty big part. It's pretty fun to use. And yeah, thanks for watching. Work hard, take it easy, take care. Have a great day or great evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.